Hi and welcome. So today I want to share with you more about why those self-care tips and tricks or maybe self-love practices don't necessarily work for resolving your emotional eating. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist and emotional eating expert. And even the title of this video, how those self-care tips and tricks don't work to resolve your emotional eating, might be a bit triggering because we're really a society that likes quick fixes. We want to have the magic bullet. We want to know the next little thing we can do. It kind of lights us up and makes us feel like we're shifting our energy and we're going to resolve something. And I totally get it. I love those tips and tricks as well. But after so many years of trying them and seeing clients try them as well and not getting results, and doing the deeper work, I realize why they don't work. And so I want to share with you more about why they don't work and how to dive in deeper to resolve your emotional eating. And so for me, I think back to when I went to my first therapist and I had gone after a breakup, and her advice to me was to love myself and to go and get my nails done. And I had no clue how that was supposed to help me, how that was supposed to make me feel better, how I was supposed to love myself by getting my nails done. That didn't connect. Like the dots did not connect for me. And so I even, I went to see another therapist that was more on cognitive behavioral therapy, and I switched a lot of behaviors in order to get my emotional eating under control. I would do the things that a more healthier person would do. I tried all the tips and tricks and it didn't work. Yes, I did them and it was very much, I was efforting, and so they didn't work because I couldn't sustain them. And as I've dove deeper into this journey of emotional eating and all of those tips and tricks, and you want things to look a certain way, and you know what a person who has a healthy relationship to food looks like, and all of these things, what I can say is when you do the deeper work, those tips and tricks become very effortless, and you can add them in as something that is easy to add in. There's no resistance. You feel really good, and it's something you desire to add in. It's not meant to fix you or heal your deeper issues. And so that was really missing for me because my emotional eating was very deep rooted. And that's what I find with a lot of clients. Their emotional eating is so deep rooted. This pattern goes back to childhood, and simply telling someone to do something like, to love yourself more, get your nails done, or to switch out a simple habit without doing the deeper work, it becomes almost a self-sabotaging behavior. And I know this because I've seen this with myself, and even with clients when they start the program with me, there is always resistance. And so we have to work with that resistance and acknowledge there's something deeper going on as we're shifting certain behaviors and habits, and also doing the deeper work for, the parts of them that are resisting this change, and why they're holding on to this old way, and how to resolve those emotions under the emotional eating. And so this is why these practices don't work. If you're someone that's very open and receptive and just are willing to try something new, and there's no real sense of it doing something for you, and you're just sort of open to it, then yes, add in those little things. I think it's important to add in little tips and tricks and see how they work for you. But when we're turning to them thinking that we're doing the work to get to resolving our emotional eating, or doing them and not getting anywhere, that's where we have to dive deeper. And so that's what I want to really talk about, is how do we dive deeper? Because when we're trying something in order to get a result and we don't get it, we might think something's wrong with us. Why didn't this work? And sometimes that's mirrored back to us by society. You didn't have enough willpower. You didn't try hard enough. You didn't do the thing. And, it's not about willpower, and it's not about putting in the effort. It's really about what's blocking us. And I've said this before, but that part of us that's blocking us or holding us back is usually in our subconscious. It has 95% power. And so we need to work at that level and, be shifting on multiple levels as well. And what I've found for myself, before I knew about these things, when I was implementing changes, I had to really have a physical feeling associated with it. So if I shifted and had water, I would feel good having water. And so I'd almost give myself a little bit of a window to try it out, to feel good in my body. And I would almost immediately feel better in my body. And then I did that with other things. Slowly I shifted. And so that helped me because I could physically feel I was feeling better. And that gave me some momentum. And that's really important for us to have those tools and deeper understandings of why things might not be working for us. Because if we understand there's this part of us that's blocking us and we can work with that as we're making changes, that helps us to make more powerful changes. It's no longer a tip or a trick. So usually what I start off with clients is that we start off with the different phases of the emotional eating evolution program. And it's structured in a way, it starts off with true nourishment and strategic digestion, body acceptance, emotional wellness, and then lifestyle. And it's structured in this way because when we start making those little changes to how we eat and being more strategic about our digestion, we're going to get wins and we're going to come up against resistance. And I find that it helps us see where our emotional eating is happening, because this phase is all about really tuning into true versus emotional hunger, nourishing the body so we're no longer binging, and really seeing how foods impact our mood and to really be optimizing our digestion. And so as we're doing this, we can start seeing where our triggers are really coming out, because sometimes if we don't have these tangible, practical steps, we think we're emotionally eating all the time. And sometimes it might just be really diet mentality and we're restricting ourselves and we're not creating meals that truly satisfy our hunger. So as we're learning these practical tips in a way that helps our resistance in our mind and helps that part of us, and it's no longer a tip or a trick, it's something deeper. It's a deeper understanding. True versus emotional hunger, you can feel that in your body. You can feel when you're satisfied in your body, how your moods shift when you're really nourishing your body at a deeper level. So all of this is experiential, and having that as support and guidance to move you through that is going to make you more and more committed. It's no longer a tip or a trick. As we move through this phase to really come up with the triggers and to make sure we're nourishing ourselves, we move into body acceptance. And so this is where I find we add in more rituals and learn more about the rhythms of our body, and that's shifting our resistance as well. We might think something's wrong with us and have that critical voice in our head, but when we start seeing, oh, our body functions in this certain way, it has certain rhythms, and when I do this, this is how I feel, and we start implementing that, that can shift us. Of course, when we have those deeper blocks, they're going to be coming up in resistance to shifting, to being in this new way. And so when we get into phase 3 of the program, emotional wellness, we take those blocks there. So the emotional eating pattern that comes up, or maybe that resistance to implementing something different, that block comes up and we take it into the emotional wellness phase. And so this is where we take all of sort of that momentum we've created in the first 2 phases and we can dive deeper into the actual unresolved emotions under our emotional eating, under our resistance, so we can move forward really powerfully. And this is the deeper work. This is really the core, I would say, but we need the other phases because we are relearning a new way to be with ourselves. And when we dive deeper into this area with the emotional wellness phase and move through those blocks subconsciously, we'll move forward more powerfully. And this is where we actually start creating more and more sustainability and feeling just better overall ease in our body. If we have emotional eating patterns, they start dissolving more and more here. Sometimes it takes 1 session with a client. There are 2 sessions in the program, and sometimes clients need more sessions, just depending on how deeply ingrained this pattern is and how much resistance they have. And then and this is not a tip or a trick. This is a practice that we do, because within the program, there are meditations you can always go back to really support you to move through the resistance that comes up. So you can start implementing this way to nourish yourself. And then finally, in lifestyle, we kind of wrap it up. So it's more relearning or new learnings that we can add in. And so the program is structured in this way. It is a sustainable program. It's not a tip or a trick. And you're understanding how your patterns work and where they are, because you're really bringing in more awareness, we're doing the deeper dives into the subconscious, and we're adding in practical tools so you can really feel embodied in what you're learning and the difference between what's true for you or not. And this is all also building up your intuition. And so what I find with someone saying, go and get your nails done, it's very external. It's much like the diet mentality we have. Everything is external tests. We're not checking in. How do I feel? Do I need to go get my nails done every day, every hour? That's not something practical to me personally, and maybe not necessarily makes me feel good. And, just changing a behavior on the surface without understanding the deeper blocks or resistance under the surface, or understanding why I'm doing what I'm doing, that really propels me in making the change. Not just, okay, switch this to this. This is what a healthy person does. Because we're all going to be unique and have a bit of nuance to our blocks and resistance. And so I find this is so much more powerful than a tip or a trick. We might spend years doing tips and tricks, and there's so much free information online and tips and things to add in. But when you don't have this foundation, it's hard to know what's going to be right for you and what's going to work for you and to make it sustainable. And you'll keep hitting those walls of the magic bullet and feel like you're failing when you haven't really hit into the deeper roots. So, this is really important, and this is what we address in the Emotional Eating Evolution program. And so if what I'm saying is resonating for you and you're looking to dive deeper and to really have sustainable change, not just another tip or a trick and you're sort of throwing spaghetti at the wall, but you're really landing into a true foundation for yourself to move forward, then I would love to invite you to book in an emotional eating assessment call. This call is all about you, what your goals are, and how the program can support you if you are in a place of where you're ready to commit to resolving your emotional eating. If you'd like to find out more about the program, I'll leave a link below. So I just want to say, if you have any questions, please leave them below. And thank you so much for watching. And please be sure to like and subscribe. And I look forward to sharing more with you. And I hope you have a great day.